Welcome to Hate to Wait, where two lifelong dieters talk about their current struggles with weight loss. Diets, we've tried them all. We are not doctors, we don't play them on TV or on this podcast. Join our journey because we're all in this together.
Guess who's back? Back again. Emily's back. Tell a friend.
Tell all your friends. Tell your friends about this show, for sure. But yes, I'm back. I'm back from California, Disneyland, Universal, family vacation, straight out of National Lampoons, for sure.
Wow. You had to strap a dead relative to the roof of the car?
No. No,
Okay.
that's good at least. It wasn't to that extreme, but it was definitely like visiting Wally World for the Griswolds, except luckily Disneyland's open. I don't have to worry about Wally World, anything like that. We have the internet, so we don't have to worry about dead relatives having to be strapped to our cars. We had none of that, but we did have 6 people on a trip and then a terrible cold that started with my husband, then went straight to our son, the youngest, who had it the worst. And we had the 8-hour flight from hell. We were the parents of the screaming child. So there was that. All my mom guilt, though, is very much dissipated now because I'm like, whatever. I don't have to deal with these people on an 8-hour flight. You guys can deal with my kids screaming in a store for 3 minutes. Like, whatever. All my mom guilt gone.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. And I'm sniffly, so I'm sorry for all the sniffles John's going to have to take out of the editing because this cold went through us. It didn't hit me very badly. And you know what? To go straight into Hate to Wait, talk about dieting on vacation. For those who've listened to the show for a while, you know that I do intermittent fasting. So I only have an eating window. Right now it's 6 hours every day. I only have an eating window of 6 hours every day. It used to be 8. I am very good about not eating outside of that eating window, except what I can, which is water, black coffee, and black or green tea with nothing in it. But I made exceptions on the trip for Zicam. Zicam is zinc. It's this lozenge. I think it really works well with your immunity. So when everybody started getting sick, me and my mother-in-law, we were taking Zicam. And then I got some zinc gummies for the kids. And the baby didn't eat it, but my 8-year-old did. So the 3 of us, we got the least sick. Actually, my father-in-law, who stayed away from the kids a lot, he didn't get very sick either. But us who were taking zinc, we were doing that. But I was eating that outside of my eating window. And I was just like, oh, man, I feel guilty. I shouldn't feel guilty. And then I had to stop and be like, no, okay, there can be exceptions. We are on vacation mode. It's basically survival of the fittest, and I need to stay the fittest. So if I'm eating outside of my window, it's fine if it's medicine. And the other thing was I stretched my window one day. It was like every day I had a different intermittent fasting window. Because first of all, I was getting used to this time change. I was going from Connecticut to California, so there was a 3-hour difference. And I did the math to figure out, okay, as long as when I get to California, it's been 16 hours since my last meal, I'm fine. It doesn't matter what time I really eat. So my eating window in California was like 12 o'clock, I think, by the time we woke up after our flight. It was like 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock one day. The next day, it was like 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And then there was it was all over the place, but I tried my hardest. And the only thing I really let in outside of my eating window was medicine. And that ended up working out really, really well for me. And the other thing was I had to be in mom mode. So I was eating for fuel. I was eating crap, but I was also eating a lot of vegetables as much as I could. So I would eat crap during the day. Like if you go to Disneyland, you have to get the Disney pretzel. You have to get the Disney ice cream bar. You have to try what the kids are eating, even if they're sick. And you're just like, yeah, but I really want that ice cream sundae. So give me some of that. But I also ate for fuel because I knew that I was the one taking care of everybody. My son wouldn't sleep. So a lot of the first few nights were spent with me in the rental car with him in the back sleeping. And because we were in Anaheim, it was all lit up.
Oh, my God.
It was all lit up so he wouldn't fall asleep. And so I was driving down Chapman And if you keep driving down Chapman and Anaheim, you'll end up on Santiago Canyon Road. And that turns dark. All the streetlights go away. All of a sudden, these hills pop up. Anaheim and LA go behind these mountains, and it just lights up like in the night. It was gorgeous. It was so gorgeous. The lights from the city went over the mountains, so that was all you could see. You could see the black sky, you could see the black mountains, and just this light from behind the mountains, and that was all. And there was 12 miles of that. He and I drove up and down that 12-mile no lighted area over and over again so that he could sleep. And it was gorgeous. It was actually kind of like Emily's little dream vacation, except it was 3 a.m. with the screaming toddler. But I got to drive a beautiful road all by myself for many hours and listen to podcasts and listen to music. Like, it was my son being sick, but it was kind of Emily's little introvert dream vacation.
I got to tell you, you really do know how to take a negative and turn it into a positive, because that sounds absolutely miserable to me.
It probably would have been if I didn't find nature, if I were just in a city driving around. And it wasn't bad at 3 a.m. driving around. I actually knew that area. One of my best friends growing up, she lived there, and I visited her 15 years ago. So as I'm driving down the street, I'm like, oh, Orange, that's where my friend used to live. Oh, well, Orange is probably huge. There's no way. Oh, there's her apartment. Like, it was just one of those weird nights of like, okay, I've been here before. All right, I actually recognize some of the things around me. Let me just keep driving. And I'll just go toward the mountain. Like, this is me. I just go toward nature. Like, nature protects me, even though a stupid lake sometimes is frozen when I try to throw a rock in it. I always want to go to nature. It just calms me down.
Okay, so, but the thing is, when did you sleep?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So the third day, after 2 nights of driving him around, and we were going to go to Disney. Like, I had just driven him around for about 3 hours. I get back to the hotel by the time everyone wants to wake up and go to Disney. And I'm like, okay, let me just take a shower. Let's do this. And I should mention, so the day we leave, I woke up early. I was getting everything ready, and I took all my vitamins like an idiot on an empty stomach. And then all of a sudden it's like, uh-oh.
Oh,
And so
no.
yeah, and I run to the bathroom and I throw up, and I'm just like, oh God, I'm sick. We're gonna have to cancel the whole thing because I'm sick and I got this stupid bug. Oh my God, we're gonna have to cancel everything. And I'm like crying, and I'm like, no, we're not gonna cancel everything. Your mom, come on. Ugh. College has trained us for this. Boot and rally. And I like clapped my hands. I got up and I was like, we don't have the flu. I just took too many vitamins. Let's just keep packing and we're going. It was one of those instances where you tell your body, like, nope, we're not having this. That was that day. But I was ready that third day after not having sleep. I was ready to do the same thing and be like, all right, let's just take a shower. Let's go to Disney. For the first time in your entire life, you could do this on 3 hours of sleep. No. And my husband looks at me and he's like, go get in bed. Go get in bed. We'll take the kids. We'll take the kids to Disney. You sleep. And he let me sleep, and then I woke up, and he's over in his bed, too. And I was just like, I thought you went to Disney. He's like, my parents took the kids. I was sick, too. I was trying to act strong, but then I felt sick, too. So, yeah, I finally did get sleep that day. We got more and more sleep as the trip went on and people were feeling better. And yeah, Adam's right. Emily did sleep yesterday. I slept for a good 11 hours yesterday and like 9 hours today. All of our sleep schedules are messed up, and I'm not doing very much to stop that because I'm like, no, you know what? We're just in recovery mode. We're just going to ease out of this. We're not going to try to shock anybody's systems anymore.
Yeah, you're a trooper, because, I mean, well, maybe it's, okay, so I guess when I was your age, I used to be able to do the same thing. I couldn't do that now. Like, God bless your mother and father-in-law.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't know how much sleep they got.
Well, they were in a separate room. So we got a hotel suite that had the common area. Oh my gosh. And thank God we had that because the baby did not want the pack and play. That was it. He's not even a baby. He's almost 3. But he didn't want the pack and play that the hotel gave us at all. And we ended up having to give him a bed and like surround it with all the pillows. So my daughter she was supposed to sleep in the bed, and we put her on the sofa bed, and she thought it was the greatest thing ever. So thank God we had that extra room with the sofa bed in it so that she could sleep there. And now our son, he doesn't want to sleep in his bed here now. So we're working on that. There's a lot of things that happened.
Well, again, it's, until they're 5 years old, it really is a crapshoot. I mean,
Yeah.
even 4.5, they start coming out of it. But the first 4 years, it's a wonder we don't kill them.
I know. And he's so cute. And I keep looking at him and I'm
That's
like,
the only reason. If they weren't so cute, we would take them out. We would take them somewhere and leave them.
honestly, whenever I look at my feelings about parenthood, I go back to the one anthropology class I took and I'm like, I wish I paid more attention because humans are so weird. We are just weird creatures. I'm trying to raise a little one and like half the time I'm trying to figure out how I fit into this world as a human. Like what the hell? It's so weird. It's
Yeah,
weird.
I totally get it. I mean, it's like I said, it's funny because I know like right now when I don't get sleep, I get sick or I can't. There's just a point where I just can't. I'm done. I'm just like, I'm going to be over here sleeping. I don't know what you dudes are going to go do, but go do it. And it doesn't matter where it is. I could be sleeping on a chair or a rock. It doesn't matter. And then here's the other thing. When I'm so tired, then I need to eat. I want sugar. I want
Yeah.
carbohydrates. I want it all.
Yeah, that was tough. It was even tougher because normally I would have just gone for my tea and I brought all this tea out here and I was like, it's okay. I'm not even going to cost them a lot of money food wise because I'm so happy drinking my tea. California water sucks. I
Oh,
gotta tell you guys in California, your water is not good tasting at all. No, no. So I I even boiled it and I'm like, it doesn't I don't know. I'm sorry. It's like Connecticut snobby, I guess, to be like, "Ugh, your water is not good. Our Connecticut water is delicious. Oh. But but it's not good. I tried to make tea. It tasted like crap. It tasted like how I remember tea used to taste like before I got used to it with my lovely Connecticut water.
yeah. Like I said, well, I've never been to California, so I don't know how bad the water is there.
I
But
know. But yeah, there was that. And there was also, so another thing with my eating window, and this was the last day, and I was thinking about it before we went home. The last night we were going to go out to dinner because Mark's sister is out there. That was another reason why we went to California for this big vacation and not Florida. But Mark's sister is out there. So we wanted to visit her and, hang out with the family and have all of us together. And so the last night we're together, we wanted to do dinner and we wanted to go to this hibachi place. And so I started my eating window early that day at like 10 o'clock. And I was like, okay, we're going to go to hibachi at like 6. Maybe my window will be 8 hours this day. We get to the hibachi place and we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And there are 6 of us. Nobody called ahead for reservations. It's like a Monday night. Like it really didn't make a lot of sense that we couldn't get a table, but we couldn't get a table for about 40 minutes. And finally we leave. And I'm like, I was prepared. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to open up my eating window for hibachi. This is a family meal. This is good. Hibachi is good food. So then we give up and it's like, okay, well, there's a pizza place over there. And my husband and I look at each other and going back to being a snob, I guess I really am a snob. We just look at each other and we're like, California pizza. The kids they didn't even want pizza because Layla wasn't feeling well at that point. I was like, nobody feels well. I'm not breaking my window for crappy heated up California pizza. Like, no, I have priorities. Hibachi? Yes. Crappy pizza? No.
and it's that bad, huh? See, so we do have better pizza here.
We do have better pizza. Yeah. Yeah. Well, have you ever looked at TV pizza? Whenever they order pizza on TV? They're out in California, and it always bothered me that, watching Friends, they would order pizza, and I'd be like, that's not New York pizza. That is crap California pizza. Put that
Ah,
cardboard back in a box. Go order pizza from New York. It'll still be good by the time it gets to you in Hollywood. I promise you, we have so much processed cheese, it's fine. But yeah,
wow.
that was my vacation.
Well, all right. So, how about exercise? I mean, all the walking was there.
All the walking. You know what? I haven't even checked my stats for walking. I just knew I did it a lot because at the end of the day, my calves would hurt, my feet would hurt. And I got to say, the Skechers that I got with, it's not memory foam.
Okay.
They're the best walking shoes. I didn't have a single blister. I barely really even wore in the shoes that I was wearing. I was wearing them around the house and I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to be taking bigger strides than Disney. I didn't really wear them in as much as I would have liked. They were perfect. I loved them. So I highly recommend the Skechers that I got with memory foam in them. You don't even need socks with them. They're so ventilated that you could just throw them in the washing machine after and like they don't smell or anything. You just put them on and go.
What's good?
Yeah.
And you've been back a day now. Day, two?
2 days. I don't even know. 2 days.
2 days you've been back.
At least
2 days
two
now.
nights I've been back.
All right. And how's the jet lag?
I'm okay. Like I could have woken up earlier than I did today, but the fact that Cam has jet lag, he's waking up later, but he's also going to bed later.
Right.
So we're going to have to figure that out. But him sleeping later, it gives me an excuse to sleep a little later.
Well, okay.
I'll take it for now.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah, that was. Oh, okay. So because I have my Post-it
I
note,
was wondering.
I had to remember another thing. When we were in the hotel and we pulled out the couch bed for my daughter, we opened up the couch bed and there's a pair of jeans on the floor. Not our jeans.
Oh, boy.
Not our jeans. They were hotel jeans, just hanging out there. And so I pick them up and I'm like, oh, they're a 10. I'm like, no, Emily, no, stop going with this train of thought. I'm like, oh, they're a 10 long. That's like almost my size. These would be jeans I would buy myself for goal jeans because like I'm kind of a 14 at this point, almost a 12. Maybe I could just. And I'm showing them to Mark and I'm like, are you going to judge me if I bring home couch jeans from a hotel? He's like, are you going to wash them? I'm like, yeah, I haven't tried them on yet. He's like, I guess. That's weird. And I was like, okay, I won't bring them home. And I just like put them to the side. I'm like, that's weird. No, this isn't like a sign from the universe that you're going to be skinny soon. You should just get the jeans. Because in my head, my sleep deprived head, I'm just like, it's a sign from the universe. They're size 10 jeans and they're long. They're just for me.
And you left them there?
I didn't leave them there.
I didn't think you
there's
did.
more to the story. So then I put on my jeans for Disney, and I haven't worn these jeans since the fall. And they're too big now. They're going to fall down. They're going to piss me off all day. And I'm like, crap. Like, I have yoga pants, but I want pants with pockets for Disney. And so I look over and I see the couch jeans and I'm like, there's a belt. Ah, okay. Maybe this is my universe gift. And so I go over and I take the belt and I put it on and it fits wonderfully. And I'm like, oh, look at this. Okay. Couch jeans are doing me good. I got a belt for the day. So I was very happy with my belt. I wear the belt the whole weekend. And then I took the jeans home and I'm washing them now and going to try them on at some point. But, but yeah.
Okay.
So couch
And
jeans.
so then there was also this other post you put in because not only did you haven't tried on the couch jeans,
I know.
but you tried on your wedding dress.
That's right. So yesterday I got back and I weighed in. It was the first time I had gotten on a scale in over a week. And I actually, in the beginning of the trip, I don't know if this was after the boot and rally or before, but I got on the scale and I had a new second number. I was at new second number 0.8 and I was like, oh my gosh. So if I go on the trip, I might get to my old second number, but whatever, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Like I kind of left being like, all right, whatever happens on this trip, I saw a new second number. I know it's possible. I can come back. If I gain weight, it's fine because I know that new second number is there waiting for me. I can get to it again. So I came back and I had lost weight. Spoiler alert for the weigh-in later. I had lost weight and I was actually at my wedding weight. And I was like, wow, I haven't tried on my dress until now because I didn't want it not to fit. I was so worried about like getting all excited and having it not fit. And I put it on. And because my body is now different than it was, first of all, before I had my second kid. And when I got married, I was also doing basically a calorie restriction diet. So any weight I was losing and any weight I had lost, a lot of it was probably muscle, probably dehydration. I wasn't losing weight in a healthy way. So when I put the dress on now that I've been losing weight with IF and doing yoga, it fit completely differently. It was loose and especially in the boobs, like, I'm sorry, boobs. I'm sorry that my dieting makes you go away, but those were gone. But I had more tone to it. Like, I looked so much better in my dress now than I did at my wedding day. And I'm showing my husband, I'm like, look at this. And so that was a really fun thing to come home to, is trying on my wedding dress and still being exhausted. And then I unpacked the rest of my bags wearing my wedding dress just because I could. Just walking around wearing my wedding dress. It's not a big long thing for anybody who didn't see the pictures. It's actually T length, so you could walk around and just do whatever you need. It wasn't dragging on the floor, but
That's amazing. I mean, look at all these wins for you.
a lot of wins. It was a lot of fun.
That is great.
Yeah, I got a belt from the universe and possibly
couch jeans.
Possibly couch jeans. You know what the funny thing is? Every time I wear the jeans too, I'm gonna be like, these are couch jeans. They're like American Eagle jeans too. They're very nice. And I'm trying hard not to come up with different scenarios of how the couch jeans got there, because I'm sure it wasn't a clean and family friendly story. But I'm not gonna think too much about it because I'm washing them.
Right. You
Possibly
wash
with bleach.
You're going to wash that story right out of those jeans.
Exactly. And they will be jeans from the universe.
Okay. So that was your week, and it was uplifting and amazing and, all these goals that you're reaching. And then we get to my week.
Yes. Tell
me
all
all Which has been 2
things.
weeks. This is not good.
Oh, no.
No. This is not good. So this morning when I was getting ready, I came in here, I got everything going, and Sam is off today. They're going to record, Samantha, my girlfriend, she's going to record her podcast, I Shake My Head with Lisa and Sam. They're going out. Lisa's off. Sam's off from work today. Lisa's off. So I was talking to Samantha, and I'm sitting here, and I'm getting everything ready for the show. And I said, I haven't been on a scale since you left. And she goes, okay, go get on the scale. And I'm like, I don't know if I want you here when I get on the scale. And she's like, all right, we'll go get on the scale. So then I went and I pulled the scale out because because when she's here, we don't have the scale down on the floor in the bathroom. That's a no, we have to tuck it away. I put the scale back on the floor. I stand on the scale, and oh my God, this is not good. So I'll save that for later. Oh. So, and then there was a lot of cursing, and here's the thing. I knew I was running amok. I knew I was running amok when Sam was here, and when Sam left, the muck continued to run. And basically, I can't even get by this, is that I'm basically a food addict. So once you turn me loose, it's really hard to get back. Like you keep saying, as addicts do, we lie to ourselves. Or we're going to start this tomorrow. We're going to bring our window back tomorrow. We're not going to do this. We're going to eat at home. Yeah, I was eating at home. I was buying groceries, but things, like I say, fall into the cart. Tapioca pudding fell into the cart. Klondike bars fell into the cart. And I was cooking, but I guess I was eating bigger portions. Carbohydrates, bread. I added bread back into my diet again. The window was out the window. It was just trying to get back. And the thing about it was, as we have in the past, we know when things are out of control. And I guess like an addict, we either, I want to say, deny, or for me, it was just sticking my head in the sand like an ostrich. I ostriched. So then I had to get on the scale like an hour before this. And when I got on that scale, I just said the same. I said, how do I do this? How do I do the show? How do I come on here? And she says, you do what you normally do. You just come in and you share. And I knew I was in trouble. And so yesterday I'm a big fan of a comedian called Bridget Fetisi. She has a dumpster fire show on YouTube, and she has a podcast on YouTube. And she was on a podcast yesterday called The American Glutton with Ethan. Now, I guess his name is Suplee. It's Suplee. I'm sorry, Emily, for giving you all these links.
It's okay. It's future Emily's problem, not my problem.
Future Emily's problem.
Fuck her.
So they got in there, and so it was yesterday when I was listening to this podcast, and Bridget has, she has been in recovery. She's a recovering drug addict and alcoholic, and she started talking about, food, and now, she's worried about, gaining weight and stuff, and she started treating it like addiction. And I'll tell you what, It really was a podcast that I needed to listen to. It was like an hour long. And this guy, Ethan, he at one point was 530 pounds.
Mhm.
And now he's lost his weight and he's like a gym rat. And I'm not, there's no way I'm there yet. So he's been back and forth. So I started to sit down and saying, okay, the hour before I came on here, I was just sitting by myself, all right, contemplating where do I go from here? What do I do now? Because I can't do what I normally do, which is really just completely cut everything out and do everything. So I came up with a 5-step plan. Step 1, get back to intermittent fasting. Step 2, eat a good breakfast. All right, a good high protein, low carbohydrate breakfast. Step 3, slowly start reducing any kind of sugar and carbs. Not all at once, because it just doesn't work. It throws you into a tizzy or, a binge. And then, what was that, 3?
Mhm.
And then step 4, there has to be more exercise. Whether if it can't be walking, it has to be something. And listening to the podcast yesterday, it looks like it's going to be weightlifting. And then step number 5 is that I cannot allow myself no accountability. In other words, I need accountability. And forget about accountability and just, losing weight. I need accountability in life, because if I don't sit down and plan everything out and plan my day out and set deadlines that I need, I run amok. I get my back up against the wall. Again, I'm more comfortable reactive than proactive, because it's the way I've lived my life. I've got it. So step 5 is being more proactive and getting back to accountability, because for 2 weeks, I was just completely off plan and the thing to me was the amazing, when I stepped on the scale today and saw that number, there was a lot of ranting and raving and shaming and disgust and all those things that I do to myself. I don't know where it comes from. I guess it's from when I was a kid. I bully myself. And so it took me a little while, because I'm like, this is going to be a great show. You're coming back and you've got, you were in your dress yesterday. So there's all this positive energy. And it's like, here I am, like an anchor with a fat suit on it. And I got to drag the show down. And I'm so pissed off at myself right now for
Who
doing
wants
this.
to listen to a show where all I do is talk about fitting into my wedding dress? Like, I wouldn't want, if I were losing weight and struggling with it, the last thing I would want to do is listen to a show where, I go on vacation and I lose weight. I kind of hate, like, 250-pound me is looking at, now and being like, shut the hell up, Emily. Like, shut up. You come back from vacation, you lose weight. What the fuck is that?
Well, no, I mean, Dave went on, he went to a podcast conference, and Dave Jackson, our friend, he's also in our group here, and he came back and he was shocked, about, and I can't say anything because he's part of the Winning Wednesday. So
Yeah, that's right.
I can't say anything. I'm like trying to spoil everything. So it's been a rough morning today to snap myself back into shape. My biggest fear is that I'm just going to say, that's it, I'm not eating anymore and all. I got to get this weight. Like, I can't try to lose this weight by next week.
Yeah.
I can't. I got to get back on the program, because, the way you're doing it is the proper way. You're doing yoga, you're doing, you're exercising, you're eating within your window, you're doing everything right, and it shows. And then here's John. He does everything wrong. And guess what? It shows. And that's it.
But so much of what we do on this podcast, what we've done for episodes, is if we have one bad week, it's just one bad week. And then because you've actually, what's funny is I don't think when you've gotten on the scale before in the past, before this show, you've probably just gotten on and been like, oh no, my weight's up. I got to be really hard on myself. I think with this show, because we have to actually talk it out and hash everything so that we can look at what we did that brought us to that weight level, we're able to make better choices and better changes for the next episode. We're not just saying, oh man, I haven't gotten on the scale in a while, I probably should. And you get on the scale and you're like, crap, I have to lose 15 pounds in 4 days. We're constantly coming back to it to be like, okay, I went a little off center, I got to adjust. Oh, I went a little off again, I'm going to adjust and test and adjust, test and adjust. And that's what we're doing. And that's all anybody can ask of you, John. No one's going to be like, well, John's not losing weight. This podcast is clearly stupid. Like, no.
Well, you're down to your wedding weight, right?
Yeah.
And I was all right. So I was 20 pounds away from the weight I needed to for surgery.
Yeah.
Did I sabotage myself? Did I just self-sabotage myself so I don't have to get this surgery? Did I do this to prolong this? I got to think about that. I mean, this is so raw right now for me because I had my head in the sand, and then this show made me step on that scale and snap me back in reality. I need I need Cher when she smacks what's his name in
Sunny with the
Moonstruck.
hair?
This snap out of it when she slaps him.
When she slaps Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. Yeah, when she slaps him and says, snap out
Snap
of it.
out of it.
Yeah, I got that this morning. So that has basically been my week. And then again, of course, I go to the Google machine. So then I look up 5 ways to help if you think you have a food addiction. I definitely have a food addiction. There's just no way that I don't have a food addiction. It's because as soon as I stray off and I light up that pleasure center in my brain, it's off to the races. And again, I feel so stupid saying this about food, but so then if the first thing it says is be aware there's a deeper issue. Well, there is a deeper issue. Like I said, Sam left and we had this really great week in a couple days, and then she was gone, and it was tough. It was tough waking up in the morning, and that led to that depression led to this. And then it says face your triggers. Of course I didn't do that. Change your external circumstances. I should, I know what to do there. Enlist your friends and family. I should have been in here last week saying, hey, guess what, guys?
Yeah.
I'm having problems. And then number 5 is seek out support. And I'm going to have to do that. So, and I don't know, again, don't get me wrong. The show is great. Samantha's great to talk to because, I can talk to her about anything. But there's going to have to be something between this show. I'm going to have to find some kind of group around here. And I don't know which group that's going to be. But there's got to be something where I can either go to a meeting.
Was there Overeaters Anonymous by you?
I have to look into that. It's not really, it's funny. It's not funny. It's ironic. I don't know what it is. Here's the issue. Alcoholics Anonymous, it's, you go and people understand it. Narcotics Anonymous, people go, they understand it. You're addicted to alcohol, you're addicted to. There's so much shame in being a food addict that people don't go. We suffer in silence. And there's not that there, I've done this before. It's a 12-step program like it is for drugs and alcohol. Back then I wasn't ready for that. Maybe I'm ready for it now. I don't know. I'll have to find out. But see, Andrea put this in. I'm going to put this up on the screen. She said, OA can be very restrictive. You need to find the right group. See, that's the problem.
Okay.
What are the other groups? What other groups are there?
Yeah.
Could I go there and make things worse? I don't know. So again, it's been a thing. And I can't even really talk about it now until we weigh in, and then I could probably talk about it some more. So that's been my 2 weeks. I've been running amok. And I have that feeling in the center of my chest that just, because when you go to the therapist, she goes, okay, what's that mean? What does that mean? What are you feeling right now? And it's shame, it's disappointment, and it is fear that I can't stop this for right now. That there's fear. As I'm saying this right now, I know that this stops now.
Yeah.
After this, I have to take my daughter to get her wisdom teeth out. But, when I come back, there's going to be protein shakes in here again. I knew what I was doing. I was doing well. I was taking weight off every week. And then all of a sudden, I just gave it all back. It's like playing poker. You start playing poker and you play poker right. You're playing it by the rules. You're using the skills that you have to play poker, and you're winning. You're winning a little, you're winning a little, you're winning a little. And now all of a sudden you've got a stack of chips in front of you, and you go, you know what? I'm doing good today. And the next thing you know, you stop using the tools that got you there, and you start gambling, and you start pushing in more and pushing in more. And the next thing you know, somebody who is playing the game right snaps off, and then you lose everything. And then you got to start again. And that's exactly what happened to me for these 3 weeks. I pushed all in and lost.
Yeah.
It's not the same as in poker, but the thing about it was the skills that built my chip stack, the weight loss, those skills I had, and I was doing well. And then all of a sudden, I started gambling. I stopped using the skills that got me there. And I just started saying, oh, well, who cares? In poker, you can say, I got outs. Yeah. I got outs, which means I got cards that can make me win this hand. Even though I'm an 80-20 dog, even though my opponent's 80% to win, and there's a 20% miracle chance that I could win, those aren't the odds you need.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going through this role. I didn't have much time to think about this because it just happened. There was a lot of cursing. Sam's like, I said, I got to go in an hour. I now have to go and do this. And I said, I don't want to, but here I am again. It's just, it is. And it's one of the reasons why we started this podcast, because I just wanted to let so anybody else that does this, anybody else that has this issue, anybody else that loses their mind and gains weight, it happens. It happens. And you just can't throw it all away.
And the struggle is real. We do 86 episodes of the show.
God.
We're still not learning. Like, I'm giving myself these crazy exceptions, and to the point where I'm like, oh my God, a Zycam is going to gain back 60 pounds. Like, no.
And that's medicine, right? Like, imagine if I couldn't take my medicine because it was outside my window.
Exactly.
You have to take your medicine.
We're learning how to make these changes work for our lifestyle. If it doesn't work for our lifestyle for some reason, we have to figure out a way to change it so that it does, so that we can keep going, so that we can keep coming back. And I think you coming on the show has you coming back. Because if you didn't have the show to come back to, if you didn't have to talk about it, what would you have done if you had gotten on the scale today? Otherwise,
I would have went out and ate.
Yeah, you're like, I would have thrown the scale away. I would have been like, well, this scale's stupid. Weighing myself is stupid. Number is not real. Health is beauty, damn it. Yeah.
Where is my breaking glass sound? But I don't even know if it's even on here anymore.
Doo-doo!
No, that's not it.
I'm not even sorry.
Oh, I am sorry. There we go. That's what I got on the scale. And it was horrible. It's just
Put that cookie down
now!
Yeah, stop it.
Yeah,
I gotta get back on. I gotta get some more sounds on the soundboard. I'm using the new mixer now, so I don't have the soundboard up. But anyhow, that's where it is now. So, okay. Why don't we get into Winning Wednesdays?
Yay!
Let's do something. Let's talk about some positive things that are going on in our group, and then we'll do the weigh-in, and then I can probably talk a little bit more. All right, here we go.
Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday.
You know what? Can we talk about a win for the podcast, actually, before we get into Winning Wednesdays?
Sure.
We were mentioned by our buddy Dave Jackson, who we talked about before, in Podcast Magazine. And I think this was the first issue of Podcast Magazine, I believe. So,
wow.
Yeah. So thank you for the mention. He listed us among what Dave listens to, including the Jordan Harbinger Show, the Podcast Talent Coach, and he listed Hate to Wait. So I really appreciate that, Dave. Thank you. That was fun to open up on vacation and be like, oh, cool.
Okay, so that is fantastic, and thank you, Dave. But now I just had a pain behind my eye because I'm thinking to myself, all these new listeners. Oh God!
Good. They should not. Here's the thing: I don't want new listeners to come in and be like, "Oh God, these people are already successful. I don't want that." No, I kind of like that we show that we fail and we get back up and we keep doing. Because you know what? There's going to be an episode 87. There's going to be an episode 88, and those episodes, John is not going to be coming back from 2 weeks running amok. He will be coming back and telling you how he got back on the wagon and how he kept going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You want me to be your spin team, John? I'll do it. I'll spin. I'm good at spinning.
No, it's good. So that is a good show win. Thank you, Dave. All right, here we go. Ingrid lost 0.8 pounds.
Yay! Patricia's 1 pound down. Last weigh-in before vacation.
There you go. Tammy is down 2 pounds.
I love that you guys are setting up walking dates in the comments. This makes me so happy. Elaine says she's been consistent 3 days in a row. Woohoo! As routine as my life is, you would think consistency would not be an issue. But when it comes to eating, well, I graze like a farm animal. My IF has been on point this week. All right.
That was the word I was looking for.
Graze?
I was grazing. I had things in this house that I haven't had in this house for years.
Yeah.
I was grazing.
That was one of the reasons I went from 8-hour window to a 6-hour window, was because in those 8 hours, I had a lot of time that I could graze. And because it was in my eating window, I let myself do it. And when I was plateauing, I was like, I bet you it's the grazing. I bet that's it. So I had to shorten my window so I didn't have a long enough time to graze.
I hear you. Ken says, I found your podcast on Stitcher a couple weeks ago.
Hi, Ken.
I love you guys. Hi, Ken. I drive for a living, so I'm able to binge on your old episodes. I started Nutrisystem a few weeks ago, and I'm down from 230 to 218. My goal is 180.
Woohoo!
I found that it fits really well into my schedule and my lifestyle. Going to keep it going, and thank you guys for all you do and for keeping me company on my long rides. There you go.
I love that. I love knowing where you guys are listening to us from. You know what? Do me a favor. Take a screenshot of the podcast that you're listening, or take a shot of you or where you're listening. Let us know. Throw it in the group. Throw it in the Hate to Wait discussion group. I want to see where you guys are listening to us from. That would be fun.
Okay.
So thank you.
I like that idea.
All right. So our buddy Dave Jackson at Podcast Movement Evolutions 2020, some of the parties were meh, so I went to the gym instead. I arrived the day before it began and walked down and up 8 stairs 3 times that day. As I was busy, I only ate dinner and maybe a banana if I was lucky during the day. I came home and was down 7 pounds. Even better, I caught a cold and now I have no appetite. Today, I got a new middle number. Oh, I always feel bad when people go on vacation and they get sick and they've lost weight. Like my husband lost weight. I told him to get on the scale when we got home. I'm like, I'm telling you, you've lost weight because you were sick. And he gets on the scale and then I'm like, I shouldn't have told him to get on the scale because now he's going to he's either going to go overboard and try to keep that number, or he's going to be like, oh yeah, that's temporary, and go straight for the chicken wings again.
You know, and it's true because 2 weeks ago when I was doing the She podcast and I came on and Jessica and Elsie said, oh my God, you have cheekbones. You know, I haven't seen your cheekbones in forever.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's gone. Joanne says, well, it's not a win. The opposite. I put on 5 pounds this week because I've been eating like a pig. But now I've been weighing and I'm drawing a line and getting back on the horse.
Yes, that's a win.
There you go. It's a win. Yeah, drawing a line and getting back on the horse.
See, that's how you spin
Absolutely.
it. That's how you spin it.
Right. Well, okay. I mean, I am back on the horse. I'm thoroughly back on the horse. But, you know, I had to come in here and talk about, you know, how I got thrown off the horse, run over by the horse, kicked in the face by the horse.
What's funny is as soon as I talk about it on the podcast, or as soon as I hear about it, it's never as bad as what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, I almost think to myself, oh, well, that's not so bad. I'm on the podcast. I kind of got to promise our listeners that I'll do better next week. So I'm probably going to do better next week because I hate disappointing people. So, yeah.
You would think. That wasn't working for me.
We have Deborah. The weather has been mild lately, and I was able to get out and walk laps around the park while the kids played. I'm so over winter. Oh my gosh, I'm with you. I'm so over winter.
I can't complain about winter here. It really has not been cold in New Jersey at all. I mean, a couple days, nothing much.
We've had mild weather. We haven't had a lot of snow, but it's just been cold. Like, it's always been in the 30s and the 20s. I came home and there was one day where it was 46, where I was like, okay, I can ease back into this. And then today it's 19. I'm like, no.
2 days ago was 60 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say to Sam, hey, you know what? Because I always do the conversion. I said, guess what? It's 15 degrees here. And she's like, really? It's negative 20-something degrees. I was like, oh, my God. And you want me to come to Canada? I don't think so. All right. And Sherry says, I track my food, and I actually ate everything in a single day. Because when you eat good food that's not processed, full of sugar and everything, it's hard to eat that amount of calories.
Yeah.
And I know that.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Now is the time for the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time for the weigh-in.
All right. And since, oh, look, an even number, I get to go first. Oh, boy. All right, here we go. I'm up 20 pounds.
Oh, boy.
20 pounds. 5 pounds the last time we did show 20. So it's in 3 weeks, 25 pounds. I can't believe I could put 25 pounds on that fast.
What do you mean up 5? You were only up 2 last time we recorded.
Was it 2 or 5?
2.
Okay, I thought it was 5 for some reason. All right, well, now I don't feel too bad. So it's only 22.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's like...
Well, that's a lot of weight.
I know, but John, you've also taken off like 14 pounds in a week before.
Okay.
Remember to take your
gonna
whooshy
happen.
pill?
Right. It's been about four days without the whooshy pill.
John.
All right, so...
Okay,
and
so
again,
this is not all you're eating. You know that that 22 pounds, probably at least 8 of it, is from not taking the whooshy pill.
Yeah.
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 I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with, like, a lot of this weight is because no whooshy pill. We need to whoosh John out. This is John's diuretic, by the way, that he's supposed to be taking every day. So this is what we mean by the whooshy pill.
So here's the other thing. With me right now, I definitely have to do that. But work has been crazy for me. And my cousin Jim and his daughter, they want to start a podcast, like a comedy podcast or, the kind of podcast that I started podcasting to do.
Yeah.
And we're all into it now. So you know how it is when you get a new podcast, you get a great idea. I've been working on setting things up and then getting a name. And this time I'm not going to say anything until I put it out. We're going to do a couple test episodes to see if it works. But I'm really excited about it. So I've been throwing myself into that, throwing myself into work. I would come in here at 8 o'clock in the morning, sit down here and not get up out of this chair until 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, it's all that. It's back to the old habits. So so next week, like I said, it's no more running amok. No more, this is ridiculous. And, from now on, we're going to go, I'm just going to go, I know what to do. I just got to start doing it. It's ridiculous that I did this.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So.
I'm going to geek out for a bit and I'm going to go back to Disneyland because you're kind of quoting Kylo Ren from Star Wars. So forgive me, I'm going into a geek out right now of Kylo Ren having to do his final battle in all of the movies and saying to himself, I know what I need to do. I just need the strength to do it. So there's Emily geeking out just a little bit of Emily geeking out.
No, exactly. I like that.
And I was thinking about it, actually. This is another sticky note that I wrote on my camera before I left. And it says, John, you're my podcasting Millennium Falcon. Because I wanted to remember to tell you
that
this.
Barely works.
Yes, I wanted to remember to tell you this. This isn't because cannabis is legal in California. This was an actual, pure Emily thought right there. Yeah, this is a pure Emily thought right here. Because in Star Wars, whenever you're at the lowest, there is no hope left. You're just like, oh my gosh, the bad guys are going to win. The Millennium Falcon comes and you see it on screen and your heart and your body just gets uplifted again. Like, oh, I can do this again.
Oh, here I thought it was because I was old and broken down.
No, you're not the fastest hunk of junk in the universe, John. But you are the person who I come back to and I'm like, look, it's hard for me to get back into podcasting because I've been on vacation. I've been in family mode, but I'm like, I'm going to record with John. As long as I know I'm going to record with John, I'm going to be able to get back into my groove. I'm going to get back into whatever, I'm going to get out of my funk. Every time I talk to you on Thursdays, you're my Millennium Falcon. You just come on the screen and I feel all better, John. So.
Well, I appreciate that. And honestly, like I said, and I mean this, and I only mean this because not because you took a week off. I'm not blaming this on anybody. This is not a blame thing. Yeah. But like I said, last week I would have had to get on the scale and I would have known that there was an issue last week. And it probably wouldn't have been another whatever. But there goes my phone in the other room. I found my phone. Jesus. Let's shut the door because I can't get to it right now. So anyhow. All right. So now let's hear some good news. How about you?
I'm down 5 pounds.
See?
I think a lot of that's from travel, and I have a feeling...
No, don't do that.
Okay, yeah, you're right. No, I'm down 5 pounds. I walked my ass off. I I stayed in my eating window. I picked different eating windows every day, but for the most part, I tried to stay healthy. And I was eating for fuel. At one point, I was telling Mark, I'm like, you need vitamins. Can we just get a tray of vitamins? And he's like, what are you talking about, vitamins? I'm like, oh, I'm talking about vegetables. And I went into like Terminator mode of just like, I wasn't seeing food for like, that is a vegetable. I was seeing vegetables as like, Mark needs vitamins. He needs he needs carotene, he needs beta-thiamine, whatever that stuff is, and I need to get him some vitamins in the form of vegetables. But yeah.
No, I agree. And then the other thing is that I got to add some vegetables in my life. And I did it the other day. It was so easy because one of the things that, for me, cooking's always the cooking thing was as an issue. And ordering groceries in, and I have this, Walmart has these peppers and onions in a bag that are already cut up, and you don't have to do nothing. You don't do anything to it. So took them out, put them in a pan, fried them up with fresh mushrooms. And I had, and I added some seasoning to them. And then I took them out and I had them in the refrigerator. So then the next day when I wanted to make eggs, I just took like 2 forkfuls, threw that into the pan, heated them up, poured the eggs over, did all that. So my problem was in the afternoon and the evening. There was no window. It was wide open. I was waking up in the middle of the night and eating. It was just all the nonsense. And I don't know. I said, congratulations for the 5 pounds. And like I said, and the new second number.
Yeah, new second number.
You're almost ready for maintenance, aren't you?
I feel like I should do maintenance for a while at some point, just because I'm not... Weirdly, it's because I don't want to buy new clothes. Like, I'm kind of waiting to, like, fully get into a large, because I'm in a large for most things, for size-wise. Mm-hmm. And I kind of hate that in-between stage. So I kind of want to get to a 14 and a large.
Well, did you ever think what maintenance would look like for you?
No. I figured, actually, just knowing that when I graze during an 8-hour window, that keeps me steady. So I have thought about like, okay, well, when I get to my goal weight, I'll just open up my window a little bit more to see how big it has to be so I can maintain and not lose anymore.
I mean, even if you just kept your window the way it is, maybe that is maintenance.
Yeah, that's true. I think so too. I think if I keep it at 6 for a while, I'll start to even out, because that happened with 8 where I started to even out. And then I know people eventually, when they do intermittent fasting, they go to 1 meal a day where they're only eating for 1 hour every day, and then the other 23, they're fasting. And for people who've never heard of intermittent fasting before, and you hear like, whoa, you can only eat during this time, like, isn't that calorie restrictive? No, you should see what the people who do 1 meal a day, how they cook, what they cook. It's like 3 sheet pans of like meat and vegetables and whole grains, and they put it all in the oven and they sit there for 45 minutes and they eat, and it's delicious. But
yeah, I mean, absolutely. And yeah, there's just so many different things I could have done better. Mm-hmm. I could have done better. I could have been a contender. But all right. So I know what I have to do. But like I said, it looks like you're almost there, kiddo.
For now, I really want to see like, hey, maybe I can get out of overweight for once and go in the normal range. That's kind of like, I just want to see if I could do it. I know I was able to do it in college because of caffeine pills and Diet Cokes and salads were all I ate. Like, I could do it the unhealthy way, but I want to see if I could do it this way where I'm doing yoga at the same time. And I know that the yoga, I'm building muscle. So a lot of the weight that I have is muscle that I didn't have growing up.
And that helps you keep it off too, because muscle burns more calories and all that. So yeah, I mean, maybe maintenance is keeping the things you eat and just maybe stepping up exercise, or I don't know. Yeah. Like I said, that's something for you to think about. I've got a whole different set of problems.
Yeah, I'm going to play around with it for sure.
All right. Well, I do have to skedaddle.
Yep.
So thank you so much for everybody. Thank you so much for listening. And if you want to join the group, and we get new members in all the time. Just go to hatetowait.com/Facebook. We have merch at hatetowait.com/merch. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. That'll take you there.
If it doesn't now, it will soon.
Sorry, I'm giving Emily all this work to do.
Doing it now.
And all the stuff I've talked about, there'll be links in here because I took the links already and put them in Emily's Facebook.
I'm so happy.
Facebook messages.
I already had the links that I had gotten during the show because I'm like, I'm going to be all efficient. And then John sends me the links. So I'm like, I didn't have to be all efficient.
All the things we do.
Yeah.
And we'll be back here next week, and you guys can see what I do. So let's see how I can turn this ship around. So thank you for so much, and we'll talk to you next week.
Later, waiters.